Well, a very good afternoon to everybody, and thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Joni Ogg, and on behalf of travelprofessionalnews.com, I want to welcome all of you to today's webinar, and I really do appreciate you taking the time out of your day to be here with us. And today's going to be super fun. It's going to be a great webinar. We have with us Carla Nakamura, Wendy Graziano, and Erica Banghart with Nexion Travel Group. And Carlin and Wendy are both sales managers, and Erica is a sales specialist with Nexion. And today's webinar is going to be the future of the travel industry. That's the title. And joining us will be several very successful travel professionals who are with Nexion Travel Group, who are with us that are going to share some more of their thoughts and information on where we are now and where the industry is going. So for everybody in attendance, just remember that you're all muted, but we do welcome your questions at any time. You can just type those in. As you see on the right-hand panel, you'll see their questions, and you can certainly put it in there, and I will answer if I can. Otherwise, we will hold on to those to the end of the presentation and take as many questions as we possibly can. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the microphone over to the ladies with Nexion. Welcome, Carlin, Wendy, and Erica.
Great. Thank you, Joni, and good afternoon. Thank you to everyone for joining us today. As Joni mentioned, I am Carlin Okamura, the sales manager at Nexion Travel Group. And there's a picture there of all three of us on her sales team. And today I'm here with Wendy Graziano, also sales manager, and Erica Banghart on our sales team. And many of us have been in this industry for years, and we can attest to the fact that the travel industry is really one of the most resilient industries. With over 26 years as a host travel agency, Nexion has seen quite a few bumps in the travel industry road, but the travel industry always prevails. And so today we are also excited to be here. We're doing something a little different. We're going to talk about the future of travel with some of our own Nexion Travel Group advisors who will share about how they have faced the challenges of the travel industry and how resilient they have all been. And to help us facilitate today's panel discussion, we have invited our very own Martin Mussey, also known to most of us as Coach Martin. Martin has, just for some background, Martin has been with Nexion Travel Group since March of 2017 and is a certified travel industry executive, or CTIE, through the Travel Institute. He brings his expertise as a certified business coach since 2013 to the travel industry after running a travel agency of his own. Martin works with the Travel Leaders Group of Tomorrow, Travel Leaders of Tomorrow Group, and Nexion Travel Group. And he's also created our Silver Magellan Award-winning business coach program called Next Strides for new advisors to the industry. As part of our Nexion business development and education team, Martin is responsible for managing the delivery of the foundational programs like our boot camp and essentials. And as our business coach, Coach Martin helps our advisors to achieve the results that they desire using proven methods, tools, and systems that have been really perfected over the years. And Coach Martin often says, I am not really a business coach, just an accountability partner that helps you get unstuck. And presenting and speaking at events help Coach Martin to start that accountability conversation and to help all of our members here get to the next level in business and in life. And so at this time, I am excited to turn it over to Coach Martin.
Thank you so much, Carlin. You do a fantastic job at that. I appreciate it. And I'm very excited to be here to facilitate this conversation about the future of travel. And without further ado, let's meet our panelists because it's really about them being able to provide us some insights and some information about this world of travel that we all love. So with that, let me first introduce Elizabeth Karen. And if I can ask each of my panelists to just tell us a little bit about yourself and where you're located, that'd be fantastic. Elizabeth.
Hi, Coach Martin. My name is Elizabeth Karen. I'm located in Cary, North Carolina, which is in the Research Triangle Park area of Chapel Hill, Raleigh, and Durham, if you're familiar with those places. I've been in the travel industry going on 10 years this May, all of that time with Nexion. Is that everything you asked me to say? I think I covered it all.
Yeah, and anything else you would like to share? Any interesting fact about yourself you'd like to share, Elizabeth?
This is my second career. My first was as a librarian. I spent 20 years as a librarian in special and public libraries.
Awesome, perfect. And let me next introduce to you all Diane Frisch. So Diane, tell us a little bit about yourself and your agency.
Hi, Marty. I am 6 years in the travel business now, all with Nexion also. I'm living in Frisco, which is in the DFW area. I do mostly luxury travel, and my first career was a CPA, and this is way more fun.
No doubt. I've known a couple CPAs in my time, and they're lovely people, just like yourself, Diane. But this is a lot more fun. And as well, let's introduce our next panelist, Leah Iadice. Leah, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, Martin. Yes, my name is Leah Iadice. I also live in the Research Triangle Park area, about 12 minutes from Elizabeth Karen. I did not know her before joining Nexion, but thankfully she's nearby and has been a great mentor to me during my short travel advisor career since 2019. So it's been an interesting adventure. I was in the hospitality industry prior to travel, so it's a lot of the same skills.
That's awesome. Thank you, Leah. You know, and whether it has been a couple years or 10 years, everybody, you got a wealth of information here in front of you. I would also be introducing to you Chad Shields, who was set to join us. I think he had to be away for something, I'm sure, travel related. So if Chad happens to jump on, we'll do a brief introduction and get him jumped into the conversation. But Chad hails from Austin, Texas, is in the Austin area, and runs an agency with his wife and has been doing this several years. So we'll get more formal introductions should he jump on. But let's jump into today's conversation. And, you know, that's what we really want this to be about, right? A conversation about the future of travel. And I'm going to just toss out this first question to anyone who would like to answer. What are some lessons that you've learned from COVID?
Ooh, well,
We're all afraid to talk over each other.
Yeah.
Take
We
a
don't
deep
interrupt.
breath before you answer, right? Take a deep breath, because I'm sure there's lots, but what's any lessons learned?
I'll
I
go.
think, sorry, Leah, you go ahead.
Well, I was going to say that, you know, being tenacious and continuing relationship building during COVID has really been a big benefit coming through it, and just never stop the training and the learning that I just never stopped. And so I think that was a big lesson. I didn't realize how helpful that was going to be once kind of travel came back.
So all that education you did has certainly fueled, it sounds like, your energy towards the future business. Yeah. And then I heard the other thing you said in there was relationships being important. Who else wanted to share something? I know somebody else had a thought.
I have something. I got really focused on working smarter and not harder, but also focusing on what my real ideal client is, because I had time to think about what I wanted to do coming out of this, and also what suppliers were good to work with going through everything we went through. And once I started focusing on my ideal client, it kind of let me steer the ship in a more profitable direction. So for me, it's higher dollar value trips, and really ones that, I don't know, give my heart joy to to prepare. I know that sounds really corny, but there's some trips that
No.
you get that call and you're like, wow, I can make this a wonderful
Yeah.
vacation for someone. And sometimes I'm like, man, that doesn't sound very exciting at all. I'll book it for you. But I mean, you don't say those words, but the ones that really make you happy to do, I focus on those a lot more. And for me, it's very detailed European kind of trips mostly. But those I know I can add value. And so I sell them better because I understand my own value better. And then I think about the kind of client. So it changes all your advertising and the suppliers you use. I really got focused on that, and it's really bumped my business to the next level.
I love it, Diane. I mean, does your heart joy and more profit? I mean, who could go wrong with that, right? That's awesome. Elizabeth, I don't want to count you out. Did you have a thought on this topic?
Honestly, I was going to say exactly what they said. I mean, I think I learned that continuing momentum was super important. So even if I didn't have the same things to do, using the time to do the things that I never have the time to do that I always say I wanted to do, that was key. And I did things like take a YouTube class and revamp my client management systems, and all of that made me ready to keep going. Now I think that it helped me not get so down in the dumps. Obviously, there were days where I was very, very sad, but it kept me motivated to be ready for when it did come back. So I thought that was super key.
Yeah, that's awesome. Continued momentum. You said it right there. Some good common themes amongst all of you. So let's go ahead and move on to our next question. And this is, again, just posed to everyone. And we're going to talk about potential current travel trends. So as we're moving forward, what are some of the current travel trends that you're seeing?
So I can start with this one, and I think it's sort of evolving as a trend that continues for different reasons, and that's group travel. I think that as things were restarting, we saw it happen in where people wanted to travel in their bubbles so that they, were breathing their own air, so to speak. And now as things open up a little bit more, we're seeing a lot of requests for what amounts to family or friend reunions, people who haven't gotten to see each other for a long time, wanting to travel together in larger groups because they realize how important being together is. Like, they lost it for a couple of years, and so now that it sort of blew some energy into the idea of traveling with not just family, but also friends, groups of friends.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Yeah, who else?
So I can piggyback on that. I'm having more extended families or friends, small group traveling together than ever before. I'm also seeing a little higher spend per person than I used to. And I think part of that's people just haven't spent on a trip for a while, so they've saved up. And they haven't traveled in a while, so they're like, they want to make it just really extra special because it's been a while. So I'm seeing that. Then the other thing is a little bit of more close-in travel. So they're kind of watching and waiting, seeing what the world's doing, and then booking closer in than I'm accustomed to.
Yeah, people are ready to get out there and do that, and travel with their friends, with their family. And I'm gonna go a little bit off the script here, but I think it goes with the topic that you all are talking about. Amongst those family and friend discussions, any challenges or tips that you end up really being of value to your clients when it comes to their travels and how to prepare for them, be they abroad or close in?
Yeah, I can go with that. I did a fair amount of traveling myself in 2021. And so having that firsthand knowledge of, COVID requirements for international travel, but just being able to talk them through testing and using things like an at-home test to return to the US versus having to kind of go all over an international city to return back. Those sorts of things have really increased value. Just the firsthand knowledge really makes people comfortable traveling again because, I myself have done it. And I also see that, once people do dip their foot into travel again, they are taking multiple trips because they weren't able to do it for so long.
Yeah, it's amazing. I've had friends of mine who have never had discussions about getting a passport and going someplace, asking questions about doing just that, getting their first passport, and that's pretty amazing. Anybody else on that
Yeah.
thought?
Well, to piggyback off of what Leah just said, traveling myself was huge. And I think part of it was I was nervous. I mean, everybody was nervous the first time they traveled after COVID. But I I did that, and then I really doubled down on my social media presence and showing that I was traveling. And I think a lot of people who know me or my clients know that I'm not like the bravest, most adventurous person. So I think it kind of made them think, well, if Diane can do it, I can do it too. She's not that brave.
Yeah,
But it made a huge difference in my sales.
yeah.
I wasn't really selling anything much until I started traveling, and I went to Greece in July last year. And then that's when things really started picking up for me.
Yeah, that's huge. The trust that you built and them seeing you doing it. Both of you have mentioned that, that people seeing you out there doing it and trusting in you. So you all are an incredible value to your clients. So I hope anyone listening can hear that is a big, thing of the future of travel, is, our travel advisors are a huge value to their clients. Let's go on to our next question. This is really future focused. So, how are you elevating your business for 2022? You've spoken a little bit about some of that, but yeah, how are you elevating business to this year?
I think I can tie into what we were just talking about with the experience, going out traveling, doing these things, and even just knowing what we do about travel, and the need now for an expert. I'm making sure people understand when they talk to me that I have that, and that I have it in a way that the internet is not going to have for them. Having that firsthand knowledge, it also allows me to open up the discussion a lot easier. If anyone has ever encountered the tire kicker, it's so much easier for me to say, well, this is a service I provide for my clients. I answer those questions about testing and about, safety tips and things. I do that for my clients. And that's helped me turn people into customers or clients who might have gone online before, and it's sort of a new group of people are coming to me, and they're spending money where they used to just do that on their own because they want a backup plan, and I'm that backup plan.
Thank you for sharing. I'd love to hear from each of you on this. We certainly have the time. So Diane, let me turn that question to you. How are you elevating your business for 2022?
Well, going off of what I said earlier, I have really, really honed in on what my ideal client looks like. So focusing on them, and I not that I don't sell some other kinds of trips, but for me, it's the bigger Europe trip with all the details, or maybe a cruise in Europe. But that's what makes me like skip up the stairs to my office to go plan that trip. That's what gets me going. So I have focused on that. I figured out how to make more profit on that, and that's where I market, and that's really elevated my business tremendously. The other thing is I've become very selective about the suppliers I work with. Going through these past couple of years, you know, it wasn't an equal situation depending on who a trip was booked with. And some of our partners made it so much easier. So I want suppliers that are going to be there to help my client if there's a problem when they're traveling. I mean, I'm there too, but it's nice knowing someone has my back, and then knowing that they're going to be fair if they have to cancel something. All of that, I've become much more selective, and it's made my business grow much more than I expected. So that's kind of what I'm doing.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. I love the both sides of the coin there, right? It's on the supplier side as well as what you're doing for your clients as well. And those relationships you build with suppliers, is in service to your clients.
Oh, it's everything.
Leah, yeah. Leah, what about you?
Well, Diane and Elizabeth both talked a lot about that points that I would make, but I think to take it one step further. So yes, identifying those ideal clients has been huge for me as well. I could verbatim speak what Diane just said, but also um, accepting my own value and really getting comfortable charging planning fees. And knowing that being able to say no to clients, well, one, that don't make my heart sing like Diane spoke about, but also that I know is going to be something that takes more time and not very interesting to me. And so just really honing in on my niche, which is Europe and luxury cruising. That has really just kind of multiplied my clients because they're so happy with what I've done for them. Then the referral network just does its job for you. And I mean, I have a bonkers line of people wanting me to help them because of creating raving fans. So I think that just really setting that standard of a planning fee and not getting to work until I have that in place has really done a lot for my business.
Perfect. That's wonderful. Hey, and we can all strive to have a bonkers line of people. I had to write that down. A bonkers line of people lined up to want to work with you. That's awesome. Hey, I have to go back real quick before we get into some individual questions because the point was made. Getting out there and doing it yourself and going to some destinations has been huge for a few of you. Now, Diane mentioned having taken a trip to Greece. Elizabeth, you said you've done it, you've gotten out there. What was a big trip for you that really maybe pushed the envelope or showed to your clients that you're out there experiencing it as well?
My biggest trip was to Europe. I did a river cruise, but I also cruised 5 times in the last half of last year. And I went to Walt Disney World 4 times in the last year, well, 4 times during COVID. And so everything was different each time. And just a funny story about that, I also doubled down on my social media and I had someone approach me through chat and say, this is like the 10th trip you've gone on, and every time you keep coming back and I keep waiting for you to post that you have COVID and you still don't, and I don't understand. And so we had this really interesting conversation about travel safety and sort of the precautions that I take that might not have been quite as obvious, but it was really interesting to hear that there was somebody literally watching my travels waiting for something bad to happen, and it never did. So I think that was the whole point, right? To make sure that people see that it's possible to do it successfully.
Yeah. And you said something else that's key in there too, doubling down on your social media, that that they saw it, that you not only just traveled, but you showed that travel. That's amazing. Lee, I'm gonna go to you. I know you've been out there traveling. What's been a memorable trip for you that maybe translated to more sales because people saw you out there?
Well, I've been many places, like Elizabeth just mentioned, and kind of to piggyback on what she said about the COVID tracking is that I kind of joked like I went to all these countries and never got COVID, and then I've been to 11 countries in 10 months and got COVID at home, and so so I don't have that streak any longer, but. Yeah, I did Romania, I did Turkey, I did Greece, I did Croatia. So anytime I was out there, it didn't matter if it wasn't necessarily a place that someone was wanting to travel. It was just that they would get comfortable. They got comfortable through me traveling to speak about where they wanted to go to next.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. If all that doesn't make anybody's heart sing and just thinking about getting out and traveling, that's awesome. So real quick, final wrap up question on this topic, because I do think your travels have elevated your businesses for 2022. What's a bucket list place that maybe you haven't been or you're dreaming of or you've got on the list to go next you've never been before? Anyone? I'll just throw it out there to anyone or all of you if you've got one real quick to mention.
I want to go gorilla trekking in Rwanda.
Ooh, nice.
I want to go on safari as well in Africa. I haven't decided where.
Okay. Hey, how about you? Elizabeth?
Australia, New Zealand are calling my name, and finally they've opened up to me. So
There you
hopefully
go.
I can make it happen.
All right. Well, there you go. So let's turn our attention now to maybe how Nexion has helped grow your businesses in different ways. So, Diane, I'm going to direct this first question to you. How has Nexion helped grow your luxury business?
Well, the luxury summit is always very good. I get to connect with some really good suppliers there. That's very helpful. And the other part of that is networking there with other Nexion luxury agents, because the brain power and the connections are amazing out of that. And other advisors are just so generous with time and information and all of that. So that's great. The other thing is our tools are pretty good. Our the agent profiler, our website, you have to, it's what you put into those is what you get out though. So to get leads, I've really been focusing again on who my ideal client is. This picture here is off of my agent profiler, which is also my Leader's Edge, they feed together. And I'm going after, I'm at Canavazia. I'm going after someone who wants to go to Canavazia and Santorini. I'm really honing in on that particular client, and Nexion has the tools to help me with that.
That's great. That's great. Well, it's not lost on me that one, you look just happy and radiant being in that location, and then the little sign that says small luxury hotels of the world. So
yeah, I'm really putting
perfect.
out there what there's all kinds of overt and subtle clues in my advertising, what I'm trying to sell.
No, you got to do it. You got to think about that. And I think this is what you're giving everyone something to think about, is all those little subtle ways to do that. So anything else you want to add to that topic before I move on?
No, I don't think so. Hang on, I'm gonna.
Oh, no worries, no worries. So let's go ahead and go on to our next question. And Elizabeth, I'm going to direct this one to you. So I know that your agency is more than just you. So how has Nexion helped you to grow your agency?
Yeah, there's 12, including me. And looking at this picture, I realized that I need a higher resolution headshot. Sorry about that. But there's 12 of us. I have one employee, and then the rest are independent contractors. And the key thing that Nexion has offered me and the rest of my team is training. And I'm not just saying that because you're here, Coach Martin, but I think that one of the challenges of running a multi-agent agency is making sure everyone is up to speed on everything in the industry that they need to be. And of course, we all specialize in different areas. That's what makes us work so well together. And so it's hard to lead a team that's doing all those different things and making sure that they get what they need. And so Nexion really helps do that by offering so much training, bonkers amounts of training in all kinds of topics and areas of interest, from mass market to luxury, from small to large, from group to solo travel. And so whatever someone is specializing in, they'll be able to pick and choose trainings, and there's really nothing I have to do. They can sort of help themselves to what they need in order to learn, and then I can just be there to sort of follow up and back up, and I can help work on the internal workings of our agency, as opposed to the greater world of learning everything there is to know about travel.
Yeah, fantastic. And thanks for sharing that. I'll just pay your $5 later. No.
You've already paid me in kind.
Very good. Thank you for sharing your thoughts on that. And our next question was going to go to Chad, but I don't want to just skip over this, because you all may have experience in all-inclusive business as well. I just on the theme of travel advisors who've gotten out there and travel, I know several like Chad who have done the all-inclusive travel and have put it out there on social media, and their businesses have grown exponentially because they're putting it out there. So I'll pose this to all of you. Anyone have any insights or thoughts on growing an all-inclusive business and maybe how Nexion has been a part of it. If not, that's okay, but I just want to put it out there before skipping over this question.
I think I can help out a little bit here because I
Yeah.
also, Chad is a mentor of mine, and I sort of watch how he works. And I think one key advantage that Nexion gives him is relationships. There's a lot of opportunities for him to meet with various tour operators and resort representatives via the connections that Nexion has. And I really think, a lot of his business has come from larger groups and incentive groups, and being able to reach out and shake someone's hand with those tour operators and with the properties in question makes a lot of difference for him in particular. I know he's sort of a relationship guy in general, and the access Nexion gives, especially to someone who may not know what to do next, is really it's so helpful.
Yeah, for sure. And there's that word again, relationship, right? That relationship that starts and the opportunity to open some doors. Anybody else, Diane or Leah, any thoughts around this topic? If not, that's okay.
I don't really do a whole lot of all-inclusives, but when I do, it helps so much that again, the relationship. So I'll go to a really trusted tour operator that I work with, and especially if I have a contact there, and they'll help me because I don't know all-inclusives very well, and it's nice to be able to do that. So I can still sell to my client that usually goes to Europe, but they want to go to Mexico because I have those contacts.
Right. Every once in a while, something like that's going to come up for sure. And I can speak to this just very briefly in our own experiences internal to Nexion. Whenever we've done our group travel sales summit, we typically go to a Cancun or a Puerto Vallarta, and those relationships, again, of opening up to our all-inclusive resorts and business and various locations is just amazing. And the opportunity that our suppliers get to tour properties, we may be doing an event in one resort, but when we're within country, location, destination, we get the opportunity to go visit all these other properties as well. And, so it's really rare occasion. So it's almost like a FAM built into an education event. So it's, a fantastic opportunity for folks as well. Well, thank you all for entertaining us and me, and taking Chad's place a little bit here. So we'll move on to our next question, and we're going to direct this one to you, Leah. So as a newer advisor, I don't know that we can count you as new anymore. You've done some amazing things, but how has Nexion helped you as a newer advisor?
Well, I would mention a lot of the things that Elizabeth mentioned is the opportunities that we have. I mean, when I joined Nexion in 2019, I just kind of took every opportunity I could with boot camp and essentials and any of those opportunities to learn as much as I could. But you also create your own network and relationships that way, fellow advisors, the Nexion staff members just like yourself, and that really helps propel you to have a great team, even though you're working by yourself, to bounce questions and ideas off of, and then also become someone that has the ability to help others when they are newer. I feel like there was with COVID happening, there was a pause, so I still feel new, even though it's been a couple years.
No, I appreciate that. And, and I think what I'm hearing you say, it's a lot about the community, both community of advisors and amongst the staff as well, with you all as advisors. So, and Leah is being a little bit modest here, just so you all know, if you're listening, after her first year, she was named one of our US Rising Stars. So, she has a little bit of skins on the wall and definitely something to share with us. So we appreciate you, Leah.
Well, thank you.
All right. Well, Thank you all so much, and our panelists. Once again, we would like to just acknowledge Elizabeth, Diane, and Leah for their contributions to today's discussion on the future of travel. And it's been my honor and privilege to be a part of this conversation and to help facilitate the conversation. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and turn it back over to Wendy.
Thanks, Martin. So when you select a host agency, you definitely want to partner with an exceptional host agency that can be there for you and support you. So with Nexion Travel Group, you're going to sign up with flexible membership options. We've got a one-time activation fee per agency and no annual renewal fees. You're going to get thousands of dollars of benefits with very, very little investment, where the best value is going to be, you're going to get that with Nexion. You're going to have your choice of different plan types with your commission splits ranging up to 90%. If you are new to the industry and want to kickstart your business with our Next Start training or mentorship programs, you're going to start out with keeping 60% of non-ARC commissions. For experienced agents, you can opt into choosing 70, 80, or 90% of your non-ARC commissions. And you can also take advantage of additional agents being under Nexion 80 or Nexion 90, like Elizabeth. So ARC airline commission percentages will vary upon plan type. So be sure to visit our website at nexion.com/pricing for the details. There are no long-term contracts, no transactions or per invoice fees, and your commissions are deposited directly in your bank account twice a month. So let's do a little bit of a recap here. So at Nexion, we help you to promote your agency with ease and your value as a travel professional through effective marketing programs at no additional cost. We're going to work more, you're going to be able to work more efficiently and simplify the booking process with our tools and our technology that reduce operating costs and enhance revenue. You're going to earn more for your hard work with our top tier commission levels with more than 145 plus air, cruise, and land suppliers. We're going to help you grow professionally with our award-winning business development and education. Thank you to Martin. And we're also going to plant solid, respected roots in the travel industry throughout our productive and professional networking conferences with the most supportive people and suppliers in the industry and be affiliated with a stable, forward-thinking company. We are stronger together. Now off to Erica.
Thanks, Wendy. So before we hop into some questions for our esteemed panelists, I think it's important to go over our vision, mission, and core values here at Nexion Travel Group. So our vision is to be the most sought after, valued, and respected host agency, and our mission is to empower our advisor members, partners, and employees with the most innovative partnerships, education, and support. And our core values are shoot for the stars, members first, we do what's right, and everyone is in. Now we invite you to ask us any questions. Joni?
I'm here. All right. So I wasn't sure if our attendees knew they could just put the questions in along the way because they didn't put any in yet. So if anybody who is listening today has any questions for any of the individual panelists or for Martin or for Erica or Carlin, or Wendy, please feel free to type those in the questions area that you see on the right-hand side of your screen there. So far, you guys, you've got no questions. You did such a good job. Nobody has questions for you. It's crazy.
That's great. We had some great Nexion members to share their experiences. So thank you again to Diane, Elizabeth, and Leah, and Coach Martin as well. But if any of our attendees do have questions, on your screen there is our contact information. So please feel free to call us at the 800-747-6813 number. You can also email us at sales@nexion.com and visit our beautiful nexion.com website as well.
Oh, that's wonderful. So I don't have any questions. I do have a really nice comment, though. Somebody said, great presentation, and thank you so much for doing this. So I do want to just mention, I've been in the industry for a few years. I don't even keep track anymore. It's many, but a really, really, really long time. And I had the opportunity to meet some of these esteemed panelists, not too long ago at the Nexion event, and I just have to tell you, they're slick, man. We're some good travel agents, really good travel agents. And the fact that you all have come today and shared your expertise with the audience is really, really appreciated, because you're all really busy. I know that because you're very successful, and for you to take the time to share it with your peers like this, it really means a lot. And hearing it come from you, what you've dealt with the pandemic and everything that we've all dealt with, but you guys took it hard. I mean, travel agents really took it hard and have come out the other side. And according to what I heard this morning when I was talking with Wendy, is Nexion business is going fantastic. So you record year here. So it sounds to me like travel is back. And my thanks personally to all of you on here today that have come and listened, and to all the panelists, and of course my friends at Nexion for being here. I do want to mention to everybody that this was recorded, and it will appear on our website later today at travelprofessionalnews.com. So you can kind of listen again if you want to maybe just go over some of the points that were made. A few more comments that say great presentation. So thank you everybody for sharing that here. And I really appreciate it. So any other last minute questions or last minute comments that you have at my Nexion friends?
Nope. Thank you, Joni.
Give us
very
a holler.
All right.
You're here. We'll help you figure out which pricing plan is best for you. But definitely go to our website. Go to nexion.com. It's a brand new website. In fact, it just came out yesterday. But I know that I hear this a lot, and from our members, is that Nexion is the best business decision that you will make, for sure. So be sure to discover the Nexion Travel Group difference, and we'd love to hear from you.
Wonderful. Well, thank you everybody for being here today, and I hope everybody has a great rest of their day.
Thank you for having us, Joni.
Thank you,
All right.
Thank you, everyone.
See you
Take care
guys.
now.
Bye.
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 Bye.